Hey, what's up? What are you guys doing? Oh, hanging out? Cool. You guys should come hang out with me because we're doing some cool stuff today. So I bought a dump truck. I needed another dump truck. I've got single axles, but I needed another tandem axle, right? So I went out today. I found the best deal I could find on Facebook Marketplace, which was a $2,000 big cam Cummins, full-size tandem dump truck. But so I went to the guy and I met him, and it doesn't run, of course, and the tires are flat. So then I'm like, man, should I just go get it towed? Should I bring a semi? So I decide, man, let's just tow it, okay? So I get this local guy who's super cool to come tow it. Now we're running down the road, a 2-lane road, at about 65, 70 miles an hour. The dump truck is backwards, it's facing the opposite direction of the way you normally tow them, just because of the way that it was located. And so this is just what we're doing. Check this out. So here it is. How cool is this? I'm going backwards at, 64 miles an hour, about 64, 67. Isn't this cool? This dude's awesome. As you can see, it's super narrow and awesome. Just living the dream. So we'll see if we make it back to the shop, and then we're gonna go from there. Hey. So, it's day 2. What happened? Day 3. This is actually day 3 because I took kind of a day off. So this is day 3. Yeah. So you saw I got the truck, right? So I drive an hour and a half away and I get this dump truck that you see that's sitting right here. It was epic, as most things. I should have filmed it, man, but it always gets weird when you're like buying something and then you try and film it. Because like you're trying to figure out how much, you can pay for this thing. And, obviously they're never as good as you hope that they are. And then you're like, so it just gets kind of weird. What are you gonna like hold the camera and then try and haggle with someone and then try and feel it out and see if it's a good truck all at the same time? It would be cool if you had a camera crew with you. You could do that, but it's just really hard when you're just by yourself with like a cell phone. So anyway, I started filming when I got in the truck, but you see it. So I bought that truck. It was sitting in a field about an hour and a half from where I live and an hour and a half from my shop. And we get it. I got it towed just because there's no way you're driving this piece of junk back. So I tow it. It's just the safest. It's on somebody else's insurance. So they drive it all the way back here for $500, which I thought was a good deal. $500. Get back here. But the whole time in the video, you could kind of see the truck swaying when it hit a bump. The whole truck would kind of walk around, and that was scary. So we get back here, and the driver, cool dude, Benton is his name. Benton's like, man, that truck, the front end or something's gone on that truck. It's junk. Turns out, after I messed with it 2 days ago, I'm sort of messing with it a little bit. The front driver's side U-bolt that holds the axle to the leaf spring is loose. So yeah, like the axle is moving. When it hit a bump, like the axle would go, further away or towards the truck. That's pretty frightening. So anyway, okay, so what did I get though, right? So I bought, this is an 88 Kenworth T600. So an 88 Kenworth T600, it's got a 350 horsepower big cam Cummins engine in it, which is like a Series 4, I believe. It's got a 9-speed Eaton Fuller, air shift transmission in it. It's got 40,000 pound rear Rockwell axles in the back of it and leaf springs. So it's kind of weird, man. So let's take a look. I don't know. I mean, if you guys don't do this all the time, it's kind of cool. And even me, I don't do it all the time. It's fun to go buy weird stuff. So yeah, so there's the big cam Cummins, crappy cab, and there's the dump bed. I actually bought the truck and went there just to buy the bed. So the bed's not in great shape, but I've definitely seen worse. So I was gonna take this and put it on another truck. I've got another, as you can see, it's got some like rust holes and it's got some soft spots, but I've got steel, so I'll just weld it back. The biggest thing is that it's still pretty straight. These things are actually get destroyed and ripped out from throwing big boulders in them. But so 2 days ago I got it. I put the tires and aired them back up and kind of swapped some tires that I had sitting around here just to get it up off the ground. The wheels and the axles were just sitting on the ground. So I fixed that without you guys. I should have probably filmed it. Just me, a sledgehammer and tire iron swapping tires. So I did that. I put the aluminum wheels back on the front, and I had these kind of crappy steer tires. They're still halfway decent. So I put my halfway decent good steer tires back on it. The truck is going to be for off-road here at the shop. But yeah, so let's take a look at it. So I mean, like, Bo, why'd you buy it? So the reason I bought it is because I've got a bunch of single axle trucks. In the past I've had a bunch. I've only got one currently. I've got an international single axle, but those single axles are so hard because you can't move that much dirt with them. I think my single axle holds 6 cubic yards loaded down. And so this thing holds 20 loaded down. So, you know, this bed will hold 20 versus 6, and that's a big difference, you know. And so that's kind of why I bought it, and I bought it for $2,000. So the weird thing is, though, so I get back here, I throw some batteries in it, and I didn't film that either, I should have, but I throw some batteries in it, and I hit the key, and it fires right up immediately. Just the truck turns right on. That's frightening. Like, after 7 years of just sitting, it fires right up. The crazy thing is, I let it run for 20 seconds or so, but there's no oil pressure. So I'm like, oh no, shit, no oil pressure, not a good sign. It sounds horrific, but any engine that sits for that long usually sounds pretty horrific. So I turn it off. I call my buddy Chuck, who's got a trucking company up at the top of the mountain. He's had, I don't know, 50 semis. I mean, just tons and tons of them. And he bought 10 of this same truck back in '89. He said he bought 10 brand new one time. So I called Chuck, and I'm like, hey, man, this thing has no oil pressure. What's going on with it? And he says, you know, probably from it sitting for so long, the pan is sludged up, or something's going on with that pickup tube inside the oil pan, so yank it. So that's what I do. So late last night, I yanked the oil pan, and I should have filmed it, I know. But I yanked the oil pan. It's huge, it's heavy, it's disgustingly nasty. So I yank it, I drop it on the ground, and it is completely covered with sludge, just straight up sludge. You've got to dig it out with your hand and a screwdriver, and it's completely covering the pickup tube, so there's no chance oil could get sucked up into the oil pump. No chance. So I clean it up, and then I go late last night and I buy oil, and I fill it back up with 12 gallons of oil, because that's how much these dang things hold, is 12 gallons. Put oil in it, fire it back up again, 40 pounds of pressure in the oil system, 40 PSI, which is really good. So it's got 40 pounds of oil pressure, crazy. It's running. It was smoking pretty good from, like, looks like fuel. I think one of the injector tips is broken, or one of the injectors is bad, because it's smoking pretty hardcore white, which is indicative of unburned diesel fuel, and it's really hazy, and it kind of burns your eyes. So, yeah. So, I mean, at least it runs, and I know that it runs, and that's crazy, and it has good oil pressure, so I know that the main bearings and the rod bearings are still pretty good. So then it's like, well, what am I going to do now? Heck, I've got a dump truck. It runs, it drives, it backs up, it dumps. Why would I take it all apart to put it on my other truck if I can just do a little bit of work and make this one work? And so that's kind of what I've decided to do. What I've decided to do is just take this truck and fix it. So I found a place that's got kits. It's called an in-frame kit. So I'm going to do what's called an in-frame kit. It comes with, for $1,000 basically, from Ag Kits, you can get, you know, pistons, rings, liners, which just slide in. So you got pistons, rings, liners, gaskets, what else am I missing? Yeah, rods and main bearings. I mean, basically everything you need to leave this in the truck and just repair it. I'm still gonna need to take the heads off though and bring it to my friend Kenny's machine shop. I'll have him fix